So, hey, this is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for the people at home, who will be listening to this or not be listening to this, this is just a random podcast that me and my mate have decided to do. We are both part of a drama society. I mean, technically, you're not really part of it, are you? I mean, I'm not.
I never actually paid the entry fee. I showed up to the pub one night and was like, I'm here now.
Behold, your God.
I'm that kid who, like, when he leaves school, still hangs around outside the school because he's just got nothing better to do. That's where I'm at mentally.
Be careful how you say that. Be careful how you phrase that, yeah? Man, I'm the kid who waits outside the school for other kids.
Just as a disclaimer, we're going to have we have a wholesome time. There's nothing,
nothing's off the cards.
No, we go and we discuss our favourite Archie comics and,
oh, man. I love this.
Pray.
Pray, yeah. Pray to Penshimo.
Penshimo, the god I invented because I didn't want to do my job.
Oh, I love this. Yeah. So, we're technically more or less we're both part of this drama society. The funny thing is, neither of us are actually part of it. He just turned up to a pub one day, and I genuinely haven't turned up to a meeting yet. I joined the last possible moment that I could. I joined the first week. The last week. It was my first week of term before lockdown, and then lockdown happened, and I didn't go to any meetings because of lockdown. And the meeting that I could go to, I decided to go to the pub with my mates instead. So I didn't turn up. And then I meet these people on this Zoom chat, and I'm like, yeah, hey, I joined last week, but I didn't make it. Like, yeah, it's so awkward meeting people on Zoom for the first time, and then you're like, okay, when we go back in September, I'm actually going to see you in person, and we're friends, but we haven't met before. It's so weird, man.
The benefit of meeting people on Zoom is Zoom makes you put your name in, so you can see everyone's name. And I fucking love it.
Oh, yeah.
Because this was the benefit of retail, and everyone had to wear name tags. I never learned anyone's name. I just kind of read it on the spot.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
The only problem was people would do it to me. And when I first started Tesco, for the first 6 months, I didn't have a name tag that said Vincent.
Right.
They gave me one called Lee.
Lee.
And I quite. The guy said it's the closest we have.
Lee, close to Vince, my ass.
And I was just there like, whatever. Like, I don't really give a shit. But I can't remember how long I was at that one, but for so long, people were calling me Lee, even when I got a Vincent name tag.
Oh, that is quality. I like that.
And that's why I love Zoom, because I'm really bad for learning names. And I can just go like, oh, you're right, just look at the top of the script, Seb.
Yes, perfect. Or just make up names for people, like Shrek and Donkey.
Oh, mate, honestly, I like it when nicknames get thrown into the group, but like, I never actually bother learning the nicknames. I'm just kind of hoping for the best.
Oh yeah. The thing is, it's funny because I sort of threw it upon myself, didn't I? I sent the meme that my mate Kareem made, and it's like 56% of people voted Shrek, 44% of people voted Mike Wazowski. It's just like because I was wearing a green shirt. Oh man. And the thing is, Shrek I could understand at the time, and it was like Scottish accent, green shirt. Mike Wazowski I was a bit more confused on. However, for the people at home, as racial as this is, I am half Asian, right? Which means two halves, aka two half eyes make a whole, and Mike Wazowski has one eye. Oh man.
I ain't even commenting, mate. I ain't going there. This is a family show, Seb.
It's not my problem. It's not my problem.
Mate, I've taken my holiday at work. Ain't my problem, right? For the next few days.
Ain't my problem for 3 weeks, right?
Give a flying shit.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, so we met on these Zoom calls, and I don't know how I immediately gravitated towards your shitty humour, because it's my shitty humour, but I think you said some shit, and I was like, oh, hey, I like this guy, and immediately you were like, I'm gonna get a bevy, and like somebody said, that's like your third one in 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, this guy sounds awesome, let's do it.
I do remember that, because right, basically we do these Zoom calls on a Friday night. Friday nights are my drinking night, really.
Do you not drink during any other day of the week?
I don't drink Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
Every other night I will drink, but I won't. I might just have like a glass of whiskey.
Right, okay, sure. Friday night's when you go mental.
Yeah, Friday night is like, it's the end of the working week. I want to have a good time. You know, I want to kind of
unwind, relax, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I use that as my drinking night, just so I can like spout utter shit and not feel like a nonce.
I love that.
Yeah, and it really is. There are times I just drink 3 cans of beer in like 10 minutes.
Genuinely, this was an amazing moment for me. I think it was my 3rd group call meeting. I don't know why, but I don't think I met you on the first 2 that I was in. I don't think you were there.
I'm not sure. I didn't start right away.
That's probably why.
One of the members of the drum group I'm like close friends with, he just invited me to the pub one night. I said, oh, me and some friends are going out. Do you want to come? I'm like, yeah, all right. And I just ended up getting along with everyone. And then,
you got slapped, didn't you?
That was the second night.
That was the second night. Oh, perfect. Oh.
Just a disclaimer, I dared someone to slap me.
Oh, right, okay. So
I dared someone.
They weren't abusing you. It was no. Please hit me.
If anything, I was like making fun of them for a bit.
Oh, right, okay.
Because they called me weak. English. So I was like, oh well. I can't remember what I said. I just started making fun of them.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about as well.
Yeah.
We'll keep their name out of this, but this is a quality story. Quality story.
Like, I want to hit you, so I just kind of looked them dead in the eye. Like, we were both drunk off our asses. It's like 1 a.m. and I was like, I dare you.
I dare you, I fucking dare you. Hit me,
like, really?
right now.
Yeah, they're like, really? And I just went, I fucking dare you. And I'm so drunk, I can't feel anything anyway. I had a great night. That was like the highlight of my night.
The highlight of your night was getting slapped. Oh, I love that.
It was great. I haven't been slapped like that in years.
Oh, mate. Did it did it give you some extra life? Beat you back to life? You've gotten some fucking motivation?
Mate, I feel like I was so motivated just to like, you know, like when you see a film and someone slaps them just to motivate them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm going to climb a mountain.
Oh, mate. She'll be amazed if you say that. Do you remember that time you slapped me? Yeah, well, I was like, I was so not motivated to do shit, but now I want to climb a mountain.
Yeah, I'm going to climb a mountain. I'm going to write a book.
I'm going to write a book.
I don't know.
How many years ago was this?
This was in like January.
Oh, January! Oh, not even a full year. I love it. Oh man.
This was so recent, and then I started doing the Zoom calls because my mate.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yo, do you want to do a Zoom call? And I was like,
bored as shit, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm up for a little bit of banter, and then I just slowly just became a member of the group.
I love that.
And like, shit. Like, I rate rate my mate for like just getting me in, but it was so weird when I kind of realised that I'm actually part of this friendship group now.
Yeah, everyone loves you now.
Yeah. I give it another month before they realise I'm just a fucking lunatic.
I think they know that already, man.
They've noticed. They've started to notice.
They've started.
They've started to know that, like, like for example, I texted one of the members of the group last night, just basically being like, yeah, I just got an Amazon package. Turns out I just randomly ordered a lightsaber and I completely forgot.
Oh my god. You just... Oh, what a legend. Well, how long did it fucking take if you fucking forget... Oh, he's got it right there.
Like, a day or two.
A day?
I don't know. I think I was drunk. I haven't been drunk enough to blank this in a while.
Oh, I was gonna say, I would have thought it would have been a bit longer for you to forget that you ordered something, and then you're just like, a day? What?
Mate, my memory is utterly fucked at the moment. Like, I will go to the shop, buy all the dinner stuff for tonight, put it in the freezer. 10 minutes later, like, what should I have for dinner? Should I go to chip shop?
Cheeky Nando's, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
He's got it, people. He's got it. He's got COVID. He's fucked.
Tuberculosis is a hell of a disease, guys.
TB. Oh, I love
I've
it.
played a lot of Red Dead 2 lately.
Exactly. You got so in character that you became one of the characters with TB.
Mate, that's it. Red Dead 2. I commit, guys. I commit. I got the suit on, got my Nerf gun out. I was there, like, what's the next round time?
Oh my god! Please send me a picture of this. Yeah, I want to see you dressed up, full cowboy gear with a fucking Nerf gun.
It wasn't even like I don't own like any cowboy outfit. I was just wearing a suit and holding my Nerf gun.
That's just Tom Blind with a Nerf gun.
That's it. But I was like going yeehaw.
Yeehaw! Oh mate, honestly.
You've yeed your last ha every time
you yeed your last huh? Oh my god. Oh.
Which is a line someone said to me on my last day of the job.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a brilliant last line.
That was like, that's how you leave a job.
You have yeed your last huh? What job was that? Who had soul enough to say that on your last day?
It was in a comic. I was working in a comic book shop.
That makes it all right. I was gonna say, if it was something like a corporation, I'd be like, what?
Mate, the guy who said it to me was my former manager, and who had left before, and he was like, "Oh, it's your last day, Vince." I'm like, "Yeah, you've yeed your last ha."
My guy's thinking you're Jonah Hex or some shit.
Yeah, and the worst part, it's not even the worst part, the best part is that it was free comic book day. So we used to dress up. So
did you ransack like half the shop? Your leaving present was half of the comics.
That did kind of... Yeah, I was literally like saying, it's my last day, it's free comic book day, I'm taking it seriously, good luck.
Oh.
I was there, he was saying this, and I was just there dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hello there.
Yeah, I was like, every time a customer goes in, hello there.
Hello there. May the force be with you. Oh, mate. Yeah, you know, I've actually, speaking of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I want your opinion on this, right? Yeah. So, I, last year I was the main character of a audio series called Protectors of Time, which me and two other mates created. And it goes up on my YouTube. Haha. Advertising. And the original actress of one of the characters who later left because she couldn't be asked, she gave me the best compliment of my life, right? My character Alex in the show has an English accent, so I used the English accent in the show, and the character is so not upper class, but he's so formal in a way, and he's like I don't know. For example, what one of the lines is, "Ah, well, you really have buggered everything up this time, class. You know, I'm going to have to stop you," or some shit like that, right? And the best message I ever got in my life, she was like, "You know, by the way, I was listening back to the episode last night, and you sound like Obi-Wan Kenobi." And I was like, that is highest of the high. That is like the top compliment.
That's Obi-Wan level high ground right there.
That is the high ground, my friend. Like,
Mate.
I was crying. I was crying. Like, the best compliment of my life. It was. The funny thing is, as well, is Ewan McGregor, Scottish actor. Me, Scottish actor. Playing English characters. And I sound like him. I'm like, yo, this is jokes. And that's...
That honestly is the best compliment.
An insult? How dare you, sir?
I am so used to insulting people. It's my go-to thing now.
Oh, mate. But,
that's the best compliment you can ever get.
Exactly. I was like, yo, you don't know how much this means to me. And she's a Yank, so she was like, yeah, no, it's awesome. I was like, oh yes.
That's Lucas and McGregor right there. You two.
Oh, Lucas McGregor. Oh my god. I love that. She stopped voicing a character, but that, like, it was so well planned once I figured out what had happened, right? It was like, it was a heist. Like, she gave me the compliment of, you sound like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then the day after, she was like, I can't do any more recordings, I've got to focus on something else. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, she's just left the show as a main character, and now I need to find another actress to voice an American character. But the only other actresses I know are in Scotland, so we're like, lass, do you do an American accent? And they're like, aye. And I'm like, thank Christ. But I only just realised, like, she gave me the compliment just before she left. I was like, ooh, you bastard. Softening me up, and then, oh, you bastard.
That's breakup right there.
Oh, mate,
so,
honestly.
Mate, you are so good at tidying the house. Can you do it in your own from now on?
That was a genuine spit take. Oh my god.
Next week, how to break up with Vincent.
Oh, I've been attacked in my own fucking studio. Fucking, oh my god, yo. I'm gonna have to fucking clean some of this shit up. Hang on. I can't believe that just happened. The fucking spit take. Oh man.
One day we needed to get like an animator. You know, like the Ricky Gervais show had like an animator for the podcast.
Yeah.
Just get that and just you like spitting like a stick man. Just spitting
my
everywhere.
god, I wish. Oh, that'd be great. Do you know any animators?
No, I'm sure we can kidnap or bribe or just hang outside Kingston Knights Park.
Mate, this is you again with the hanging outside fences and shit. Like, you gotta stop, man. You're gonna get caught.
I'm gonna get caught.
You're gonna get caught. First by the popo because you're hanging around other kids, and then...
Yeah, do you want to buy some Archie comics?
Honest.
Riverdale, but with a plum.
Do you want to buy some Archer comics? I love that.
Archer as well. I'll be dressed as Archer.
Oh man.
Mate.
No, you see, people. This is what he does to me. He kills me, right? Like, we start chatting random shit, and then I slowly die due to laughter. Oh man.
This is a goal of mine. He did say that one day you're going to kill me, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
yeah.
Like,
He's
Xbox level achievement. I'm going to put it next to his grave, like killing with laughter, or something like the dying jokes.
I had the last laugh.
Xbox achievement, yeah. Xbox achievement, just be a picture of me with that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, mate, somebody said this on the last call we had on Friday, and it was like, I said you're going to be the death of me, and then 5 minutes later I was like, you're giving me so much life right now. And they were like, that's contradicting yourself. How is he giving you life but killing you? I'm like, he's killing me with laughter, but it's giving me so much life. They were so confused.
I think they just came in like halfway. They just came in.
Honestly.
So no idea what was going on.
Honestly, mate. Oh, man. Like,
I feel bad when people come in halfway into the chat and I'm just going off on a rant.
Oh, yeah. I get that. The funny thing is, because it's me and you normally going off on one, like, of course, it's like sometimes they're talking about their own things, and if you're not particularly interested in that topic, you sort of zoom out and do your own thing for a little bit until you join the conversation again. And that's sort of what we did on Friday, because we zoned out for a bit and we started sending memes to each other. I started that one off. I flung a meme to you, and then I'm looking at the camera, dead at the camera, waiting for your reaction, and you're just like, oh, fuck.
And I'll send it to you. The problem is, there was one other person in the chat who just had no idea what was going on. They were just there like,
oh my
they're
god.
just putting faces to each other like they're in the office.
Yeah, exactly. It's me and you making faces at each other. Just like,
Yeah.
have you got the meme? Have you got the meme? It's just like, everyone's like, go and do your own fucking goal, fuck off. Which is what decided to do our own podcast. We were like, we should just do it. We should get out all of our shit on the podcast before fucking everyone off on Friday. It's still gonna happen though. We're still gonna piss everyone off. Oh yeah.
If there's ever an argument, I will just go to the shop without warning.
Oh my god, that was the best thing. My mother just shouted she's back.
Yeah.
It was the best thing. Like, it was the worst thing, but it was the best thing. It was the best thing for my opinion of you. It was the best thing for my opinion of you. It was the worst thing for the group. Like, what happened is, there was this one particular person who had some problem with an actress of Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker, and I was asking, just a couple of questions, like, what's actually wrong with her? I think it's the writing, because I actually liked her in other shows. And then they just weren't having it. But 5 to 10 minutes later, it starts an argument with the whole group. And then I see my boy Vince packing up, and I'm like, what, are you going? I'm like messaging him private. I'm like, you dipping? And he was like, I'm going shop. I'm getting booze. I'm like, you absolute legend.
But here's the thing, I left my camera on.
Yeah, you left your camera on. You stayed in the chat, and you just dipped, and you came back like 5-10 minutes later, put your headphones back on with another bevy, and I was just like, he returned. I was like, oh my god. And you stay silent still. And I'm just like, wait, what was... The best thing is that the argument lasted the amount of time you dipped and came back. It was still going on.
Because before the argument, I finished all my alcohol, and I was still very sober, and I wasn't happy about that.
How much did you have that night?
I thought I had quite a bit that night. But I had I don't know, I had some whiskey left, and I thought that'd be enough. And it lasted me about 10 minutes.
Because of the amount of negotiations.
Yeah, and then I was like complaining, like whenever someone had an alcoholic drink, I'd be like, "Can you drink it to the mic, please, just so I can get a little bit of."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get stimulated.
I'm going through withdrawal for being sober.
He's a fucking alky, people. He's a fucking alky.
And then one of us are going like, just go up the shop, Vince. Just go up the shop. And then I was just like, do you know what?
I'm going shop.
no one's going to notice. Well,
apart from me, who's looking directly at your specific camera, because I don't know who else to look at, because everyone's raging at each other. And I'm just like, no, don't go. Don't pack up your shit. Where are you going?
and I'm just saying, like, do you know what? I need a beer. And I just walk up the shop. And it was so funny, because I just walk in, and the guy in the shop is like, how's it going? I'm like,
Oh, shit.
yeah, I was like, oh, I'm having a bit of an evening, man. And he's like, well, hopefully this will be better. And I'm like,
Who fucking knows?
I'm just like nodding, like,
Just give me my booze and fuck off.
just give me my beer, man.
Shut the fuck up.
And I just go in, like, oh, shit.
Oh, Jesus. Suffering.
Nah.
Oh.
Oh, what a night.
Yeah. To think I oh, I instigated that. Oh.
You didn't instigate anything. That was coming. Do you know what I mean?
I've heard from everyone that was a looming war that had to be fought, right?
Yeah.
But I think I pushed it sooner than it was gonna happen.
Yeah, no, I think the next time it would have been brought up, it would have kicked off.
Right.
And it just happened, at that time, it just happened to you. It could have been anyone.
Sure.
And it could have been anything. But yeah, like,
Oh.
it was quite, because the thing is, like,
It was
the guy
rough.
just
It was
stayed
rough. It was
silent,
oh mate.
because none of us wanted to be that kind of, like, male saviour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't. No one wanted to be the guy who came in and fixed the problems, because that's not what we fucking needed right there and then.
No, because
That's
they
not what we
needed
needed.
that. They needed to tell them
They
their
needed to do the
opinions.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
like, I'm just there. Like, I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna get my fake cigar out.
Fake
And I'm
cigar. You've got a fake cigar.
Do you not know that? Have you not seen
You
it?
haven't shown me shit, man.
On Friday, I don't know. I think it's in another room. Friday, I'll get it out. Because basically,
Oh,
I
that's
got it out. I
amazing.
got it one night for like when we were doing. Do you remember when we were doing suits?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I put my suit on, and I got a fake. Because when I was chatting to someone about it, originally doing it, we made a joke about having cigars,
Oh yeah.
and I don't smoke.
Oh man.
So I bought a fake cigar.
Well. To be fair, I'm glad to hear you don't smoke. That's a good thing.
It's one person from Maidstone.
Like, I'm so surprised by that, actually. I am so surprised Maidstone hasn't changed you into a smoker.
I'm surprised. Do you know what? So many of my mates are genuinely surprised that I don't smoke, just because I cough like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. You prefer a drink. I like that. I like that sentiment.
I'm a drinker. I like to enjoy the flavour of the whiskey.
Yeah, not choke on cementy tar. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But I had a fake cigar, and when one person in the chat was smoking, I was mimicking the actions and pretending to blow out smoke as they were doing it.
You should have gotten a bubble pipe.
Do you know what? I looked up on Amazon, and you just can't get a good quality one.
That
You
shit.
just can't get a good quality one, and I think that is a problem with the British industry at the moment.
The biggest problem with the British industry right now in coronavirus territory is that we don't have a bubble pipe.
I think it has been a problem before coronavirus. I think this is the problem with the Conservative government. And,
It's just the only concern you have. You don't care anything else. Bubble pipe. Sort it out.
I'm sure there's some footage of me out there somewhere protesting outside Parliament. You will not take my bubbles. You will not take my pipe.
He's forever blowing bubbles.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man.
Non-smokers can blow bubbles too.
I'm just picturing that. That is the best. Oh man. I can see you in your Tom Blind outfit holding a picket sign and just like, yo, give me my fucking bubbles. I know I can't see them, but I need them.
Yeah. I want good quality bubble pipes. None
Yeah.
of this plastic shit.
Oh, mate, that's quality. Oh, just like we I mentioned at the start of this, people, that we don't have a name for this podcast, and I think I've come up with just Topical Madness with Vince and Seb. I think Topical Madness.
Topical Madness. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down.
quality. Topical Madness with Vince and
Topical
Seb.
Madness with Vince and Seb.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh mate, Topical Madness with Vince and Seb.
But yeah, like I was just mimicking this person smoking, just to see how long I can do it before they notice.
Right.
It was relatively quick because I was not sucking. I was like trying to do like hoops, but obviously I'm not actually smoking anything. So I'm just saying,
so there's a wanker in the background just like trying to see fake smoke circles.
It's like, what is Vince doing?
Is he tripping acid? Like, what's going on?
Like,
oh man.
people would not be surprised.
Oh no, I yeah, no, I wasn't there for that suit event. I think that was the week when I first died. Like,
Yeah.
for people who don't know this, I died and came back to life. I'm immortal. No, I've got a bad reaction to hay fever at the moment, so I've had to get an inhaler. So that means I can breathe a bit better if I'm not feeling like I'm able to catch my breath. But yeah, so I was out for a couple of weeks, and then I see on social media that some people are wearing suits, and I'm like, 1 week in my absence, and they all decide to actually wear something nice. Like, what's going on?
Here's the thing though about that. Because when I was chatting to the other person...
Was it my funeral? Is that why you all dressed up in suits?
Yeah, I was planning your funeral.
I always said I would be the death of him. I took his breath away.
That's it. I will play the song "Took Your Breath Away" from Top Gun.
Oh, take
and I'll get the choir to sing it, and
is the choir going to be just you in the background?
No, it's going to be cardboard cutouts of me in the gown.
That was so close to another spit take right there. Oh man.
But back on the suits thing, we forgot, at least I forgot to tell anyone about it.
Oh, of course, it's always, you forgot to right.
I forgot. I remembered at like Friday morning, and I was like texting whilst at work saying, "Are we actually doing this?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Great." And then we just we didn't tell anyone. And then so throughout the night, when someone's coming on, they'd dip out 5 minutes, come back with a suit.
I love that.
And so it was a pretty much improvised suit night.
So it was basically like prom online.
Yeah, except we did nominate a king and queen, and
man, you're already the king and the queen.
I am
already the king and the queen.
I am the king and the queen. This is
fabulously dapper.
That's it. Yeah. Wow,
damn. Fabulous for the queen and dapper for the king. Fabulously dapper.
Well, damn, I want that as a shirt. We'll have to.
Nah, you're getting Barney pissed in the gutter on the shirt. So
we'll have to tell everyone on Friday that I am now the king and the queen of the group because of that reason.
Fabulously dapper. Oh, mate. Yeah. I mean, no, they probably already think this, but after hearing that, they're just going to confirm their suspicions of me having an obsession with you.
I can't see it, but I imagine there's some kind of like shrine in the it's like random pictures of me and like a wicker man, like
a wicker man. Just all over my wall in the back corner. You can't see it. It's out of shot. For legal purposes, I don't.
I would say I have one offset, but I have an enemies board instead.
Oh, hey, you bastard! Oh, that hurts. That
You're
cuts
not on it. You're not. No, man. I got my enemies, man. Like, I need to remind myself who to stay away from.
Is it just a dartboard with somebody's face on it?
It's several pictures. One of me in disguise, Richard Nixon. He knows what he did.
He knows what he did. Fucking hell.
And some people who have like mildly annoyed me in the past, and I refuse to let it go.
Yeah, mildly annoyed. That's the key word. It's just little things that have pissed him off. The big problems, no problem.
Yeah.
Little things.
Problems, I'll just insult you in a moment. Little problems, I'll come away 2 weeks later, I'm still thinking about it. Going, that prick does that prick like me?
that bastard hates me.
He didn't insult me. And I'll be there like, son of a bitch.
Motherfucker.
And I'll print off his picture, put it on my dartboard, or the enemy wall.
The enemy
or enemy board, or whatever I called it.
We need to build a wall, an enemy wall.
I do.
And they have to pay for it.
Yeah, they're going to pay for it.
They're going to pay for it.
Life.
With their life. First it's going to be shuriken ninja stars thrown at them on the dartboard, and then it's going to be fucking life.
It will be shurikens, and then I'll realise I can't aim for shit.
just stab your missus by accident.
Mate, she'll be there like, Vince, would you put the shurikens away for 5 minutes? My mum's visiting us.
Is that why you're aiming at the wall and then it just hits the mum?
No.
He can't confirm nor deny for spousal reasons.
I ain't going to comment for legal reasons.
For legal spousal reasons.
People can't see it. My lawyer is just screaming at me right now.
Oh yes. Yeah. In lockdown, his lawyer is right next to him off screen.
Yeah.
And
I get into a lot of problems, guys. I have a living lawyer now.
Yeah. And our producer, Artemis McGranaham, the Irish guy, is standing off screen. What the fucking hell are you talking about now, you bastards?
Everyone should have an in-house lawyer, like a lawyer who lives with them. Like, just come up to you and go, no, you can't sue the lottery for not winning.
But it's rigged. It's rigged. They're fucking bastards.
It's rigged, man. Like, we need to expose this shit. And it's like, no, Vince. You're just bored. He's a hobby. He's a lightsaber.
He's a lightsaber. I do remember when I was younger, I referred to the government as carnies because you know, all the fucking, like just in World of Adventures and places like that, they have those stalls where they do the games, and they're all fucking rigged. You never win. You never win shit. I call the people who man them carnies. They're not carnies, but I call them carnies for some reason. Close enough. And I remember calling the government carnies one day, and my dad was like, "They're not they're government." And he was like, "What? Why are they carnies?" And I said, "Because the game of the lottery is rigged, and carnies rig shit."
It's rigged, man.
Oh,
we all know it's rigged. Open the conspiracy.
It's rigged. Conspiracy 101. Fucking rigged.
Oh, man. I love it when, people... when we were kids, it's like when people realise that they hate the government when they're, really young.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my friends, my primary school created a whole generation of people who fucking hated the government in about 5 minutes.
They're all bastards, though. That's the thing.
And this is it. And literally, all they had to do was go, because of the new government, health food initiative, we are now limiting the amount of sweets you're allowed in your packed lunch boxes.
Yes, fuck you, Jamie Oliver. You initiated that.
Fuck you, Gordon Brown. It's Gordon Brown and Prime Minister. Fuck sure I know.
Was it him back then? It probably was as well, wasn't it?
Gordon. Or Tony Blair.
It was either him or Tony Blair. I think it was probably Gordon Brown, to be honest.
I think it was Gordon Brown. I don't think he even knew about it.
No, because he would have declined because he loves the show.
Yeah, he's just there like, I mean, I may have done.
I signed a piece of paper. I didn't know what I was doing. I lost my house last week.
Yeah. Gordon, if you're listening, put in the comment. Let us know.
Yeah. In the unlikely chance that Gordon Brown is listening to our shitty Topical Madness podcast, comment below whether you signed off on it or not.
This is for the audience. Send this shitty podcast.
Audience? What fucking audience? That's the thing.
Someone is going to listen to this, and that someone
is me and you. That is it. We're going to listen back to it once and be like, yeah, sweet.
And one of us is going to get drunk enough to send it to Gordon Brown, being like, yo, can you comment on this? And then maybe
you don't even give him the small section that it's about him and this. You give him the whole, however long it'll be. It's already 41 minutes. You know, it's already a 40-minute long podcast. Like
I feel like he'll enjoy it. I feel like we have some content, some things to say. The thing he will enjoy.
The thing about this Topical Madness podcast is we genuinely haven't said shit yet. We've talked about how we met and then you getting slapped and then talking about an argument that happened on the call. That's it.
We have just gone off on that. It's taken us 40 minutes to introduce ourselves just because of the amount of tangents going on.
Oh, that is the biggest problem with my own podcast on oh, mate. The thing is, that podcast was originally designed as a late night talk show. And there was going to be like live action and stuff, cameras with people. But in the end, I was just like, it's too much work just interviewing your mates who are entertainers. Like, just do it as a podcast. And it's worked better like that. But yeah, and we get musicians, writers, directors and actors and all that on to the podcast. And it's called The Rather Late Programme with Bash Dinsmore, which is... Its vibe is so English that I have to talk with a posh English accent.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So when I discuss certain topics, I speak like I have a silver spoon shoved up my arse. So, you know, I sound like I'm the Lord of Kent, right? The Lord of Kent. What is it? The Earl of Kent, Duke of Kent, whatever.
It's some out-of-date title.
That bastard who lives in that house in Sevenoaks.
Yeah, that guy who thinks he's important. But in reality...
You giving me a reality check, are you?
I have a title, mate. If it's not on the chessboard, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, mate, if it's not on the title, I don't give a shite. Oh. But yeah, that show, I literally go on random tangents. Most of the people on that show so far have been mates, so it's those tangents are talking about, stuff we did back in the day as kids that I met them at school before we started entertainment. And then there's been one guy who I've not been, I never met before doing that podcast. Haha, kind of like this. And at least I've spoken to you before. This person was new. He was a musician suggested by a busker I knew in Kingston. And I don't even think I've put it out there yet. But we were talking about something, and I just randomly went off on one about those domino phone boxes in the town, and I was like, what the fuck is up with modern art nowadays, and like knocking down the phone box. He genuinely he was like, what the fuck is going on? I thought we were talking about music and the career, and I was like, oh yeah, I just go off on one. Like there's no specific thing we talk about, even though you were told you were going to be talking about this. You're going to be talking about something else. He was so confused. Oh, I love that.
That's always the most fun, though.
You never know what's going to happen. He's never coming back, by the way. He's probably never coming back after that.
But you do bring out like the best reactions out of people, and like the best comments because they're so genuine and so on the spot. You just catch them off guard.
Exactly, and the vibe of that show is based off of the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson between 2005 and 2015, because he's Scottish, legend, but he didn't give a fuck. Like, he did what he wanted. He swore to the camera even though he wasn't allowed to. Like, he did what he wanted. And especially when it got to the interview stage after his monologue, he'd rip up the pieces of paper and chuck it like confetti and be like, "So, how's things? Like what's good?"
As much as I love Craig Ferguson, because he just comes out with brilliant stuff on the spot.
Oh yeah.
I'd hate to be his writer. Just be like, fuck you, man.
Oh yeah, because his writer. Because he had a team of like 3 or 4 writers, right? And he ignored most of it. They had to credit him after his first season of Late Night. He was credited alongside the writers as a writer because he wrote his own monologues because he didn't want to follow what they were doing. He did his own cold open, and then the interviews he just like randomly asked them shit. Like, you know, and if he knew them before becoming late night talk host, like Peter Capaldi, he was like, "So, do you remember that one time back in Glasgow when we dropped acid?" And he's just like, yes, I remember that. Why are we talking about this on live TV? Oh man,
mate, it's the best one.
I love it. Do you know who else I quite like? Who's still on as a talk host? He's that English comedian John Oliver. I quite like his humour because he's the upper English sort of, well, not upper English, but he's the English sort of doesn't give a fuck like Craig Ferguson, but just, you know, just like will rip on anything and then just like say whatever he wants. Like, yeah, I like his sort of shows. They're different to normal late night, I feel, because I don't think he has a live audience. But they're alright. They're good. They're little stories.
They're alright. I think he covers a lot of politics mainly.
Yeah, that's it. He's HBO as well, isn't he?
Yeah. So he can just do what the fuck he wants.
Yeah. HBO money.
I used to absolutely love. I don't think he has a show anymore. Was Pete Holmes?
Oh yeah. I don't think he does anymore, but he was good. Yeah.
He had a sitcom. I think it's finished now, called Crashing, where it's just him hanging out with other comedians.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah, I love that shit. He was good. I liked him. Do you know who's really conflicting for me? Because I like this guy as a person and an actor, but I don't love him as a late night talk host, which is really weird. So you know, Craig Ferguson left in 2015 and was taken over by James Corden.
Yep.
I like him as an actor and as a person. I'm not into his vibe as a talk show host. Don't know what it is about him.
Do you know what? I do agree. My thing is, I just don't like James Corden.
Right, fair enough.
And it's nothing against him personally. It's just he's never been in anything that is kind of my sort of comedy. Like
Sure.
Gavin Stacey.
Yeah, I never got into that. Never got into that.
I've seen pretty much most of it. I don't know how. I just remember watching it, and I don't think I laughed once. I think I was just there like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's like, oh, James Corden made a joke about how much he eats.
Oh, great, yeah, like all the time.
Yeah. That's what, 3 in a minute? Okay, cool.
I don't know, I've seen him in Doctor Who, which I thought he was alright in. He did 2 episodes.
It was alright.
It was mostly Matt Smith that did all the work in it, but...
Yeah, Matt Smith carried that episode just by...
Yeah.
being mental.
But Matt Smith is a wild animal.
Do you know what? I feel well bad for Matt Smith though, because he gets cast in all these big Hollywood films, and they cut him out last minute.
Oh my god! He's Doctor Who, famous and everywhere, right? And then he goes on The Crown, amazing, but only 2 years, and then kicked off because it's only 2-year contract, and then he goes on to all these big Hollywood things, like you say, and he's cut out. He was supposed to be in the fucking Star Wars film as the young Emperor, and he was cut out.
Star Wars. Most of his screen time was cut out of Terminator.
Oh,
which isn't the worst thing in the world.
No, because that film was shite.
But he was really cool in it.
He made that film sort of watchable for me. I would be interested in the scenes that he was in because I knew him as Doctor Who, but apart from that, I was like, that's it.
He was playing. What was he? The T-5000.
He was Skynet. He was Skynet, wasn't he?
But he had another one as well because he played Skynet at the end. But at the beginning, when he kills John Connor, he's like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That can turn people into Terminators.
That's it. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a great idea for a Terminator. Oh, let's just never acknowledge that threat.
Never bring it up again.
Great.
but yeah, I liked him in that, even though it was a shit film altogether. He should have been brought into the latest one, even though it was a different story. He should have been brought into that. And yeah, it's just he's cut out of a lot of big movies now, isn't he?
What was the other? There was another one. That he was cut out. I'm gonna look it up. Probably never find it now.
What was it? The Pride and Prejudice zombies shit.
Oh, that. Oh, I remember that. Fucking hell. What was that?
Yeah, we don't speak of that here.
But because it was based on the book by Seth Graham Smith, I think.
Yeah.
But out of his books, I did read the Abraham Lincoln one.
Oh yeah.
The film's pretty shit. But the book's fucking great.
Oh, the books, yeah, the books are amazing.
It's just a biography of Lincoln, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing a speech, and then 5 minutes later he's going like, cool, I'm going to go and kick the shit out of a vampire.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, the reason he grew that kind of beard was because he had a scar, and he just didn't want to admit he got attacked by a vampire. And it's like,
oh, it's mad. Attacked by a vampire. Oh man. My favourite British comedy film is called Starter for 10, which stars James McAvoy and Benedict Cumberbatch and Alice Eve.
I know that. How do I know that?
It was a film set in university, right? Catherine Tate played James McAvoy's mum. He was on World University Challenge.
Yeah. I know. I vaguely know it. I don't think I've seen it.
That is the best film I've ever seen, which is a British comedy. Like, it's my favourite because it's got all the A-star actors, but before they were A-star actors, you know, they were working for the BBC back then, and now they're all Hollywood A-listers. Like James McAvoy, top class. Benedict Cumberbatch, top class. Oh, is that a car?
Sorry? Yeah. I told you, like, as soon as I started talking,
knew it.
there's a guy who hangs outside my flat, and he's like, Vince chatting to his mate, everyone left your cars. Come on, guys. We're filming Fast and Furious 26 here. Come on.
Yeah, New Malden.
Mate, that'd be the most intense. Like, how narrow roads are in New Malden. That'd be the most intense Fast and Furious you'll ever see.
Honestly. Oh, wait. Well, you know, that cast is amazing. And James Corden was in that as a small supporting character, and I quite liked him in that.
Yeah.
Playing the normal character that he does, the big friend who's always like, "Oh, come on, just fucking do it, mate. Just,
Yeah.
you know, be who you're supposed to be," and just like, "Shut the fuck up, James Corden."
Yeah, like, I've got nothing against him. I've just never seen anything that's just made me, that I've just really enjoyed. I can't
Yeah, true.
explain it. It's just like, the films he does, I'm just there like, it's not for me.
Yeah. The stuff
That's
he
it.
does for me is like someone else is normally carrying it.
Yeah, he's a good,
He's a good sporting.
yeah, supporting man.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I think I watched him in Ocean's 8, the new one.
Yeah, right.
It's a fine film. There's nothing actually that wrong with it.
Yeah.
But like, I thought he was just a bit like just James Corden. Like, his character was James Corden being James Corden.
Yep, James Corden being James Corden. Yeah. I get
Look,
that.
it's Smithy in a suit, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, literally.
great.
Oh man.
I can't remember the film. I think I fell asleep anyway. It was alright. I just fell asleep.
You just fell asleep. So it wasn't alright.
It was alright. I was just tired as fuck.
Sure. Now getting into the real stuff here.
Yeah.
A good old 56 minutes and 30 seconds into the podcast, getting into stuff an hour in.
Where's Slow Burn?
Slow burn. Yeah, I should probably put in the description. Skip to the hour mark. Skip to the hour mark. It's just 5 minutes of proper stuff.
Yeah.
Skip to the hour mark. 5 minutes left. Oh man. Yeah. So we're. I mean, I'm not sure how into it you are, but we're both comic book worldy sort of people, aren't we? We're
Yep.
into that sort of culture, sci-fi fantasy sort of things. DC, Marvel, because they're the two biggest ones.
Yep.
Which is your go-to for anything?
I think, at least for comics, I think the problem. This is quite a controversial. I don't know, because I find them two very different things.
Sure.
So I tend not to like compare them.
Right. Okay.
It's like
I like to have the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle.
I like Marvel and I like DC. Like,
Yeah.
but they both do books that I think are the greatest things I've ever read. They've both done books that I thought maybe would have cried myself to sleep.
Right.
Yeah, so at the moment, I reread Deceased, the DC zombie book.
Sure.
Have you read it?
No, the thing is, I'm into comics, but I'm not really that comic booky. When I was a kid, I was more into it. Now I've sort of stopped and done sort of the TV shows and the films is what I'm focusing on, rather than comic books. I just find it hard to find them. Instead of going online, I can't be asked for that. But
I kind of switched. Growing up, I was always into like the shows and the films and the
Sure.
comics. And then when I basically started working and got money, fucking comics, man.
Oh yeah.
Fucking comics. But the reason I love Deceased, look, I bought it before I even knew what it was about, because each cover has a horror movie variant, but with like a zombie DC character in it.
Yes, I've heard about that. Michael
So
Rosenbaum.
like,
Yeah.
the most famous one, well, maybe it's not the most famous one, but the one I always kind of go to is like, it's It, but with like a zombie Joker.
Sure. I get you.
It's also a great book. I'm reading that. But then like Marvel do stuff like what I recently read from Marvel? Fucking in a comic group. I think you're in it as well. We're chatting about like Ultimate Spider-Man a lot.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I fucking love Ultimate Spider-Man. Fucking Ultimate Spider-Man's
Ultimate
the
Spider-Man.
best Spider-Man. Fucking love Ultimate. Sorry, I just love Ultimate Spider-Man.
It's fucking crazy for me because I remember watching the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
And it's unnerving for me because it's Drake Bell who voices Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
From Drake and Josh, yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah. It's so weird. I'm listening to it and I'm like, I know this guy. IMDb. Drake fucking Bell. Fuck off. Like, it's really weird. It's crazy.
I have to admit, though, when it comes to like Drake and Josh, I'm never that affected because I may have seen 5 minutes of the entire show.
Oh, okay. I used to watch that like religion. That and Keenan and Kel.
I never watched it because as a kid, I think we had the Disney, because it was on Disney Channel, wasn't it?
It was, no, it was Nickelodeon.
Was it
Yeah.
Nickelodeon? We had that, but this is proper sibling rivalry. My brother would only watch Nickelodeon shows.
Right.
Because I was the older brother, I didn't want to watch Nickelodeon shows.
So
I
you
wanted to
do
watch
Disney.
Fucking Jetix, man.
Oh, Jetix! I love that.
Jetix.
Jetix. Yes.
That anime about like a kid with a ghost samurai.
Oh, mate, I love
I forget
that.
what it's called. Fucking Digimon. Fuck, I still watch Digimon. I'm
Digimon,
23.
Yu-Gi-Oh, fucking...
Yu-Gi-Oh. I can't remember. The one I always from Shin-Chan was fucking excellent.
Oh, yeah.
But I recently started rewatching that. Fuck. If anyone doesn't know, basically, it's just like, it's Japanese South Park.
Yes! It's the best way to put it. Japanese South Park.
In the UK, it was like heavily edited. So episodes were only about 5-minute fillers.
Yeah,
Episodes were actually about 15 minutes long, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's how dirty it was. They cut out 10 minutes of content.
Yep.
And
Good work on the editor's half, to be fair.
That editor is like
Legend.
class, because I still managed to follow the show despite missing 2/3 of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. You're like, oh my god, this editor knows what he's doing.
My mum fucking hated it though, so I think that's why I liked it so much.
Just going against your mother. I like that.
Because all the jokes that went over my head, she got. And she was like, you can't watch this shit. And I'm there like...
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Another show I always remember, I can't remember what it's called. It was just some cokehead reviewing toys in Japan.
I've never seen that.
I can't remember what it's called for the life of me, but you know them sort of like stereotypical Japanese adverts where it's like that really hyperactive guy, and it's a lot of weird animation. There's a sumo wrestler for some reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm not lying, this was the show. It was about 30 minutes long. They reviewed about 2 or 3
different things, yeah.
Bits of technology at the time that was only available in Japan, but I had to watch it in England because fucking why not?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm there like, that looks really fun. And then my mum's like, that would never be in the UK.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, oh.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen, Vince. I'm like, oh.
Oh, cheers, Mum. Thanks.
Jetix. You know, have Power Rangers.
Jetix. Oh, mate. I loved Power Rangers growing up.
I loved Power Rangers. Everyone in my household hated it. I loved it. I had outfits.
Everyone in my school was like, nah, Power Rangers shit. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's shit. I'm like, it's the best shit. I loved it.
Do you know what? I find with Power Rangers, you've got to pick the right series. Though.
Depends on the series.
Like, what was it? Dino Thunder was the one for me.
Oh, I love Dino Thunder because they brought back
Tommy
Oliver, yeah, as the sort of mentor Power Ranger, yeah. He's gone through the whole fucking rainbow. Jason David Frank. He's gone through green, white, red, fucking black. Like,
we can have a Power Rangers team of just Tommy Oliver.
Oh, mate, that's the best shit.
He's had that many.
Honestly.
Yeah, what was it? I remember Time Force had the best intro song.
Time Force, Power Rangers. Yeah.
And it was some guy just yelling Time Force at the top of his
Time Force. I love that. I'd play it, but we'd get copyright. Oh. As if they're gonna see. YouTube flags it automatically. If you got a piece of music, it's like copyrighted. We'll take it down if someone says shit, and we're like, oh, for fuck's sake. And if you have video, it's even worse. Music's alright, they'll be like, okay, you're not getting monetization from this. If there's a video, it's like, your video has to be taken down. Or delete that section. And you're like, I had a vlog, which was about 10 minutes long, and 1 minute was just the Good Morning intro with Phil and Holly. And I had that video in there, and it was like, your video's been banned from YouTube because it has copyrighted ITV material. And I'm like, shit. And they were like, you have to cut this section out if you want to upload it. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. You know.
Me and a friend, we had a similar problem where one of our videos we made got muted.
Yeah.
I can't remember why. I think, because I swear we just got some royalty-free generic police music. This was for like the Tom Blind
trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
For the show that never was. But we'll...
This, for the people at home, the audience who have been waiting for Tom Blind for years.
Yes.
Here's the plan, right? And I'm not sure that you know the plan.
I don't think I know the plan.
But the plan that I've got is I'm putting Tom Blind in as a guest in 3 different episodes of my Protectors of Time show series 2. In one episode he's just a cameo. In the second episode he's just a cameo confirming that cameo was he does what the fuck he wants. Like the first cameo is him and my character, like he's so confused what's going on, he's just calling me random shit. In the second episode he appears in, I think, I think that's going to be like 3 episodes after the original episode you appear in, and he just walks past 2 of the team members and they're like, wait, didn't we see you in Victorian London the other day? And he was like, do what I want, mate, not my problem. Do what I want.
I literally just perform a line, being like, do what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Just walk out the studio. Just leave the studio.
Do what the fuck I want. Walk out of your own house.
I just be in my back garden, like,
do what I want. Just sit in the garden with a beer. Ryland's pissing down at night.
Yeah, just there, like, miserable in my life. Chair, like,
do what I want, mate. Fuck it.
That's what I want.
Not my problem. Not my problem. 3 weeks off. Not my problem.
Not my problem, mate.
And then there is one episode later towards the end half of the season where you actually special guest star as a character.
Yes. This is it. It's happening. If my mate who created Tom Blind with me is watching, he's like, listen to this. We're gonna get there one day, mate.
We'll get there one day. I think, yeah, because we there's some sort of big problem at the end of the series, and we need all the help we can get. So the team go around to all the multiverse and get all the help. And Tom Blind is just one of the characters that they pick up, and you're there for most of the episode as Tom Blind. And that leads on to the audio film that we are going to create, which is Blind Justice, The Revenge of the Cult of Penshimo.
Yes. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what Penshimo or Penshimo, depending on my mood.
Depending on the mood, yeah. Like,
honestly, I do forget.
Fuck continuity. In the studio, you're just going to be like, it's whatever I want it to be, mate.
I'm the actor.
I am the actor, co-creator. Yeah.
Basically, what happened? I was at work one day, and I work in an office, and I was chatting to my mate because we were just pissing about one day.
As you do.
We were basically complaining, as I do quite a lot.
Oh.
And we were complaining like things just go wrong for no reason, and I just kind of went, yeah, it's Penshimo.
It's Penshimo.
Of our business, essentially. And we just, and like, to the stage, we've been doing it for months, we just go like, oh, this went well, but that's Penchimo. Oh, this went wrong, Penchimo.
And then when did the Breach show come in?
He said we need a devil, so I was like,
so Penchimo's the god,
no, Breach.
and the Breach show's the
It's the devil, yeah.
And what is Tom Blind like an archangel or some shit?
No, he's just a detective who's trying to work out what drugs this cult are on.
Oh my god, I love
He
this.
just came in, like, and I essentially started a cult in my workplace because we got sick of dealing with shitty customer requests.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That is the best. Oh,
It's mental.
oh man.
My boss is listening to this.
Look, man.
Look, bro. Come on, bro.
Come on, bro. Nah, look, man. It is what it is. Like, it is what it is. You know.
He hates it when I call him bro or dude.
Come on.
So as any boss would.
Oh, come on, bruh.
You're a dude.
No. You should just do the bruh, not bro, bruh. BRUH. Just bruh.
Scott's going, bruh.
All right, bruh.
As I throw a report on his desk.
Bruh. Oh, yeah. That's mad. Yeah, so so Tom Blind appears in 3 episodes of the season. We start recording in September, so that'd be fun. And for the first 2 episodes you appear, it's special appearance, and then the third one is special guest star because you're actually in the fucking thing more than one scene. And then
I'll be everywhere soon. This year's time, I'll be like in everywhere.
Mate, you're gonna be on billboards.
Mate, no one will understand how.
You're gonna be on billboards, but nobody's gonna understand why, and you're not gonna be able to see it because you're blind.
There's a billboard outside my flat.
Oh my god! Please just stick a fucking massive picture of yourself as Tom Blind up.
The dream is just to have a picture of me come up on that billboard. No information, no context, just me.
I think one night we should do a heist, like turn off the streetlights and just like put this big picture of you as Tom Blind up. In the morning, everyone's like, "Oh my god, what is that?"
It'll be like Tommy Wiseau with The Room. He just had billboard up for years.
Oh my god, I hate to say this because it makes it real, but I did the sequel to my directorial debut film, Seiken to the Aftermath. One of the comments in the section is, "Oh my god, this film is the new Room," and I'm just like, oh, that hurts. That cuts deep, you know. Oh,
That's brutal, man.
That
hurt. That cuts deep, bro.
That cuts deep. That hurts. Oh man, but like it's so funnily bad that it's actually good. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
When I was starting, because it was the only film, it was the second film that I directed, right? So back then I didn't really have that much experience of directing. And I was focusing more on me performing as an actor that I forgot about directing, and it just made everything shit. But now it's my directing capabilities is good enough to focus on both jobs rather than just focus on the acting, so I can actually do stuff now.
Yeah.
No longer creating the Room.
Guys, the Room 2, guys, we can do it. Fan-made production. We'll make Tommy a vampire as he originally intended.
I have an actor on Protectors of Time who is a main cast member. I'm not going to say his name, but he's an American. I think he's also Mexican as well. I think he's Mexican and American, and his accent is so fucking funny because I asked him if he can do an English accent, for the character? And he was like, yeah, man, sure. And his English accent is Tommy Wiseau. It's
What?
his English accent is Tommy Wiseau, but it's more Tommy Wiseau than Tommy Wiseau.
That sounds amazing. That's what we need. That's just Boris Johnson.
This guy has no emotion when he says his lines. So it's like the first line he says in the pilot is, "For the past 2 years, I have been declared dead," and it's like no one's noticed. No one felt anything, and the way he says it is, "For the past 2 years, I have been dead. Nobody felt anything," and it's just like, you sound like constipated C-3PO. Like, you sound like Tommy Wiseau. What's going on? I'm gonna after this podcast, I will record a little bit of the episode and send it to you so you can listen to Tommy Wiseau.
Please, I need that in my life. Maybe as a ringtone.
Oh, maybe as a ringtone. Oh man, I'm gonna see if I can find a monologue that he's done.
Oh, that just sounds. Sorry, I just saw a text.
It's such a...
It's organised chaos, this podcast.
To this actor, I'm not because I haven't told him he sounds like Tommy Wiseau, but because he thinks he's doing an English accent, which he's not. But whenever he asks if the voice is okay, I just turn around and say yes, because it's more amazing to have Tommy Wiseau on the show. It's amazing.
Mate, he's going to listen to this thinking like, what? What?
The thing is, he doesn't know who he is. So this is a good thing. This is a good thing.
I'm warning you, you're going to end up on his enemy board. He's just going to pin you up with a shuriken line.
I think I already am, because I've told him that season, like, this is the shitty showrunner moment where you have to tell people that they're fired without telling them that they're fired. So it's like, I remember doing some messaging, because he only responds to Twitter, he never on Instagram. So I was like, hey there, Chief. So you know shows change as they go through time. We have a 23 episode season this year. You're gonna continue with us for about 5 or 6, as a main cast member, and then I didn't tell him whether he's dying or just leaving the show, because storylines, and it'll be more emotional when he gets to recording the script, but he is leaving the show as a main character in episode 6. Episode 6 is his last episode. I said, yeah, and he'll be credited right through to 8, because that's the mid-season finale. So I said I'll keep him on as a main character for 8 episodes. He'll appear in 6 of those 8 episodes. But then after that, I was like, look, it's just characters come to an end when you run out of story for them, and you don't want to make them overstay their welcome, if you know what I mean. And this guy's response was, "K, full stop." And I was just like, is this, like, are you good, or like, argue your case? If you want to stay on, you can convince me. Just, fight your battles, And he was like, look, if the character's got to go, then he's got to go. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's a time travel show, so of course they're gonna come back. It's just as special guest stars, not as main characters. So I have told him that, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm down. I'm literally currently writing season 3. Because I've written all 6 seasons, but season 3 was a bit shittily written, because I rushed through season 3, whereas the rest of them were all actually well done. I was doing my exams while I was writing season 3, so I feel like I should rewrite season 3 and make it better. And I've decided to bring that character back to life. But yeah, so he'll definitely come back in and out. But it's just like he was giving me nothing in terms of response from what the original message was. And I was like, oh god, does this guy like hate me now for firing him? Or like the thing is, these guys aren't getting paid. They're doing it out of the kindness of their own hearts, which is amazing. But it's like, show's got to change with the storyline. So you know that's all you can say. But yeah, I was just like, oh yo, I had to show it to the 2 other developers. I was like, look, Ben, Ryan, like, what's your opinion on this? And they were like, look, first thing is that cuts deep. Just getting a K alone cuts deep from anybody. And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, look, but he seems like he's fine. And I'm like, okay. I hope so. If you're listening to this, I hope you're okay. Like, please don't kill me. Because as you know, the 2 characters I play on the show are immortal, so I can't die, bitch.
Also, you are immortal in real life, as we have proven earlier.
Oh yes.
So,
Oh yes.
good luck.
I am
Come at
immortal. You can't kill me. I'm immortal, bitch. This is you will be the death of me, but you're also giving me life, so I'm just forever going.
I'm just there that I don't know what I want to do. Whether I want to kill him or make him immortal. So I'm doing both.
Doing both.
We're going to see where this goes.
You're killing me, but bringing me back every time.
He's in a constant state of reincarnation.
I am Captain Jack Harkness.
Yeah.
Just Asian looking.
Vortex. I'm just fucking bored.
I'm just done.
I'm bored. I got all this power. I'm gonna have some fun.
Oh mate, I love that. Yeah, so that's our projects for Tom Blind.
Yeah. Coming soon.
Probably next year. We'll work on it.
Yeah, we got to like sit down and
we've got some other things that I'm probably going to get you to work on eventually. But going back to like comic book sci-fi sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Hear me out on this.
Okay.
I think DC have better TV shows and Marvel have better films.
I agree.
Yes.
I mean, Marvel TV show wise, we have the Netflix stuff.
I think the Netflix stuff
actually good.
I think only
2.5.
20%. I only think 20% is good of the Netflix stuff. Like Daredevil all the way through, and season 1 of Jessica Jones.
Yeah, parts of Luke Cage. Luke Cage, first half of season 1.
Yeah, half of Luke Cage. Yeah.
The first episode of Iron Fist was pretty good as well.
Yeah, but then Iron Fist went downhill.
They just didn't know what to do.
Nah.
And the first few episodes of Iron Fist are actually amazing because so much is going on, and they're building their world really nicely. But it just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, Punisher. I don't actually like the Punisher that much.
I wasn't into it. I wasn't into it that much. However,
it's the Punisher.
Oh mate. However, like one of the scenes in the Punisher series 2, like I was so like, holy shit! Like I was in a lecture, and me and my mate were listening to the episode on Netflix in this lecture, and the Punisher literally picks up a fucking plate from the gym, you know, one of those metal plates that you put up, and he like bashes someone's heads in, and I'm like, oh no! out loud at a lecture, and the lecturer's like, "What's going on, boys? Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is just really hard. Could you repeat that again?" and he repeated repeated the topic, but I was just like, oh, that was so fucking close.
That's. Here's my problem. Especially with Power Season 2. They never got Billy Russo wrong.
No.
In Season 2. They set him up perfectly in Season 1 to be this next big villain.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, now we're going to give him a redemption arc.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
He's not been enough of a villain. Like, yeah, he betrayed Frank, but we need to see Jigsaw be the villain.
Yeah.
And we haven't.
No. It's the same with Jessica Jones. The only proper villain that she had was Kilgrave, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, David Tennant did amazing as that.
Yeah. The only thing I like with Kilgrave is I straight up want to see him in the purple.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him as the Purple Man, as he is called.
It's ridiculous. But then I did see, there was this fan film, and I think he might have done it in a comic book at one time, I can't remember, where they acknowledged this problem, where he just goes up to someone and goes, "You're purple, you don't see me as purple," and then he just switches to normal, because you see through the eyes of someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he just wants to blend in, he just walk into a room and go, "I'm not purple."
Yeah, for sure.
And everyone will just click.
Yeah.
But then, at the same time, this guy's confidence, he does not give a fuck.
No, he does not. Oh, David Tennant did a good job, I think, in Season 1 of Jessica Jones. Did a good job. Especially his first ever scene. Just going into that flat or apartment, and he's like, kids should be seen and not heard. Better yet, not seen and not heard. And then they go into the cupboard, like, spot on.
It's brutal.
It's brutal.
It's just, everything Kilgrave does is actually quite terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of you see like what it does to people.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Or, Death by 1,000 cuts. My dad watched that episode with me, and he said he would not watch another one because of that. And I was like, oh, yo. Death by 1,000 cuts.
It's when he's got everyone like, they got a noose around their neck and they're standing on the bar.
Yeah.
And he's just there like, if you say the wrong thing, I'm just going to tell him to jump.
Yep.
The police station where everyone's got a gun to their head.
Yeah. And he comes in. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
There's so many intense moments with him, like when he makes his dad put his hand in a blender.
Oh my god, yeah! I was like, oh my god, I don't want to watch that, but I want to see what happens, and like, oh yo, I love how they made him English though. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because of course English people are always the villains.
It would have been weird because in the comic book, I think he's like Croatian.
Yeah.
He's like a spy, isn't he? So he's like, it just would have been really strange with David Tennant with this Eastern European accent.
Yeah. Because it's like, his name is Zebediah Kilgrave, but in the show it's Kevin Kilgrave. Kevin. Kevin.
Oh
fucking
my God.
Kevin.
Let's stop this new villain. Kevin kills again.
Kevin kills again. Kevin Kilgrave. Kevin Kilgrave kills. You see, people, this is just random shit. Topical Madness, random shit.
Come on, let's get some ads going.
Let's get some ads going. The thing is, I originally, you saw, I originally had the name Random Shit with Vincent Sipp, but I realised YouTube would flag that because you're not allowed to have a swear word in the title. So it's Topical Madness.
Topical Madness, guys.
Topical Madness.
Submit some topics for us to get mad about.
Yeah, Topical Madness.
We might actually cover them. Who knows? We might just go off on a tangent.
I say 3% of the podcast will be about that topic, and then we just talk about whatever.
Someone will go like, tell us about the current political climate, and we'll just go on a tangent about motorbikes.
Oh, speaking of motorbikes, my dad.
I like motorbikes, guys.
Speaking of motorbikes, my dad's my dad's an MD of a motorbike company. Like, yo.
Oh, see, here tangent about motorbikes.
Or set bikes, like, yeah. It's mad. He's working down in Hastings.
Oh, damn, nice.
Yeah. Motorbikes. You said we'd go off on a tangent about motorbikes, so I had to go off on a tangent about motorbikes.
It's just like the time in our group calls, whenever it gets really awkward, and I do this with any group call I'm in, when it gets awkward and quiet, I will just say, with a deadpan face, so who likes pie?
So who likes pie? I haven't experienced this yet. I want to experience this. No, you haven't said this on the call.
Oh, because whenever we're in the chat, we never get awkwardly quiet.
No, because we're sending each other memes when it goes quiet.
We're just being twats.
Which is why we decided to do a podcast, because it was like, go fuck off, do your own thing on your podcast, and then be calm for a call. Which is never going to happen. Friday's going to be crazy again. I promise.
Yeah. It's going to be great. We should just get guests to come in on the podcast and just sit quietly. just have awkwardness, like, yeah, so we're here. There's a person here.
Yeah.
But,
so we know Jeff is in the bottom corner, but, you know, he's staying quiet. He's not allowed to talk. Yeah. He's being held against his will.
Yeah.
Allegedly, you can't prove shit. Yeah. It's a podcast.
Yeah, Jeff. Before we start introducing Jeff, I've been playing a lot of Fallout lately. That's an hour.
Fallout.
I did another playthrough of Fallout. I finished another playthrough of Fallout this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Started with the railroad this time. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was a waste of time.
I love how this has been genuinely an hour and a half of random shit.
How long are we planning this to go on for?
I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
The thing is, my podcast, The Rather Late Program, lasts anywhere between 45 minutes and 2 hours. It depends on how talkative the other person is. Yeah. When it's two gabshites like us, this could go on for 10 hours. We've done 7 p.m. till 11. We did 7 p.m. till 11 to 12:30 last Friday. 12:30.
In that case, can I request to take a formal break because I really want a Jaffa cake?
Oh, yo. I mean, yeah, for sure. Let's stop.
I'm literally just gonna go and grab a Jaffa cake.
For sure. Oh, he's literally going away for the fucking Jaffa cake. Oh, let's just pause it for a bit.
I don't know if you remember on Friday, I just got really bored and I just started dunking Jaffa cakes in my...
Yeah, you dunk Jaffa cakes in a black and tan.
Yeah. It was quite nice, actually. To be fair, it was actually really nice. The Jaffa cake didn't like kind of mush.
No shit, that's what it does when you put it in liquid.
Yeah, but it didn't. So it was, well, I think I ate it pretty quickly. That was kind of the benefit. It was really nice. Guys, never step away from dunking a biscuit in a nice alcoholic beverage. It's surprisingly nice.
We should No, we should add that to the podcast. We should decide before our next one a snack, and we should have the snack on the podcast, and we should just munch it and just like talk about that specific podcast. Free advertisement.
Next week we'll just pick a snack.
Yeah, and then we'll go on and talk about the snack for like half an hour.
What's in our... But when I did this, the other person in the chat was just so shocked at what I just did.
Oh, mate. Oh, yes, she was so...
She was so shocked.
The thing is, have you... Do you know her quite well? Because it looked like she was she genuinely didn't, she was so shocked. And I was like, I've known you for like a month now, and I know that this is your behaviour. She's like...
The thing is, just for the listeners, I didn't make a point about it, I just did it and didn't acknowledge it.
No, I was the one that acknowledged it.
Yeah. I just looked at my drink, I looked at my biscuit, I just went, dunked it in, ate it. And then Seb just went on like, what the fuck did you just do?
Honestly, don't stick a Jaffa cake in beer.
Why? It was all right. It was fine. But
Yeah,
the other
fine,
person
not
was
good.
just so shocked.
Oh, man.
Like, we know each other. Like, I don't. Yeah, I don't think they were. I don't think anyone is quite aware
How
of just how.
mental you are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're starting to learn. They haven't learned quite yet.
I think genuinely the only person who knows really how mental you are is probably the mate you knew before joining the society.
He's starting to. Yeah. He kind of knew just as how on edge.
Yeah. However, I now know how much of a psycho you are because
That one moment.
because you are my donkey. If I'm Shrek, you are my donkey. You are my white Eddie Murphy.
I'll take that.
Honestly.
Should we do a live action like shot for shot remake? Just cast the whole group as Shrek characters, and it's just me and you, but we're dressed up. So I'll just be the donkey outfit.
Hold that pose. Hold that pose. I'm doing something. I'm gonna you're fine. I'm gonna after we finish the podcast, I'm gonna do something to that picture I've just done. It's gonna be amazing. It's like another Pickle Vince and Mr. Sebseeks. It's gonna be
For the audience at home, Pickle Vince, this was done by the person who was so shocked at me dunking a biscuit. She photoshopped me onto a pickle, dunking a biscuit into my drink, and it was Pickle Vince.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad I drink on Friday nights, because sober me would not be able to comprehend this.
Oh, mate. What? I'm literally writing down on a post-it. 1 hour 36. Show Pickle Vince on the podcast.
Mate, just do that.
Yeah, 100%. Because after we've done this, oh mate, after we've done this, I'm literally gonna edit the video, the podcast, and most of it will just be our logo, which I will create using the snap of the chat, and and oh man, and then the fucking the only time that it will not be the logo will be Pickle Vince.
Pickle Vince, guys.
And the new masterpiece I create after the chat.
I'm so looking forward to that, actually.
It's gonna be amazing. I create that using Snap of the Chat as well.
Oh god.
This is a function is amazing.
No one in the group even knows about Pickle Vince as well.
No, it's just the three of us. It's just the three of us. It's me, you, and the person who made it.
We'll have to show him on Friday. Just be like, yeah, this is what happens when you go to bed early.
Yeah. Like, normally, I am an old man before my time, right? I am the disappointed father of every friendship group that I am in. I'm the person who goes, look, I'm not angry with you, I'm just really very disappointed in you. And then when you say I'm very disappointed in you and you look in their eyes, they look so sad, like they're gonna well up and cry. So I am like that, but I am genuinely like. I remember once I played rugby at the weekend and then I got an injury and I had to limp about for a couple of weeks. And my science teacher walked past me on the stairs. And I was muttering away to myself. I was like, oh, I'm such a fucking 60-year-old. He turned around and he was like, no, you're more 80. And I'm just like, cheers, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Mark. Like, yo. Shout out to Mark.
Where did it come from?
Honestly, I am the old man before my time. But yeah, I try being the opportune word. I try and get to bed for 10 p.m. Because I do a lot of script writing throughout the day and a lot of film stuff and other things. And if I keep doing that past 9 p.m, then I know I'm not gotta get a good night's sleep. I'm just gonna be on it till midnight, and then I gotta get up early for the next day on set or at uni. So it's just like, if I've got a set time, then I know I'll be fine. But every time I'm on a call with this drama society, that goes awry very quickly, and I am in bed by 1 p.m. because 1 a.m. because of course we finish at 11:30 or midnight, and then I'm on my phone for another half an hour looking at Instagram.
Mate, this is it. I'm pretty much the same. I kind of go to bed around 10, and I'm normally just kind of hanging in bed for a bit before I actually go to sleep.
Yeah.
Except Friday night.
I shouldn't.
Night, I'm up all night.
Oh yeah, for sure. I shouldn't because that is what causes bad sleep. Because if you look at your phone in night, it's gonna be bad for your eyes, and I do it anyways because fuck the system,
mate. Like they say that, like don't go any time before bed. And I'm like, yeah, but I need memes.
I need memes to give me hope.
Yeah, no, I need the memes. We can just evolve the ability for this to not affect us in a couple of generations. It'll be fine in the long run. For now, I just turn on blue light, and then that normally happens.
Blue light, then it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Give me. Here's a quick thing. Give me your top. What has been your favourite MCU film?
My favourite MCU film, I'd have to say it's probably Civil War.
Civil War.
I'd have to say.
They did that really well, and they split up the Avengers, and he accomplished his goal. Zemo.
Yeah, like that's it. Like Zemo is one of the best villains because he actually won.
Yeah, he did what he set out to do, and he didn't. I mean, he did kill people, but it's like he's the most human one with no powers or anything, and he turned them all against each other.
And it's even like I really like the idea of like how they dealt with accountability and why the Avengers kind of split up. Like you kind of do. It does make sense because both are correct and both are wrong. Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, it says we don't if we have government approval. Or sorry, if we have authority, this government authority giving us approval to go in and out. What happens when we actually do need to go somewhere, but it's not in your best interest?
Yeah.
And then Iron Man's like, yeah, but look what's happening.
Yeah. Exactly.
You just can't do this. I think that's it for me. I'm not either that or Thor Ragnarok. I'd have to say.
Thor Ragnarok's quite funny. I like that, but I don't know. I think Thor Ragnarok is very entertaining. However, I think in terms of a goal, Civil War has achieved the goal. But then again, I think Infinity War is an amazing movie because they balanced all those characters. Whereas, I think Infinity War is a better film than Endgame, but Endgame achieved an ending that Infinity War could never have.
I do agree. I think Infinity War just Thanos' story, which is why I like it.
Yeah.
Like, Thanos is just like, I'm going to go get the stones, I'm going to win, and we're going to see like just how devastating the Infinity Gauntlet was.
Yeah.
The only thing that kind of mildly annoyed me about Endgame is I just want to see a bit more of what the world looked like 5 years on.
Yeah.
Like, we have a few scenes of like
The support group and that's it, yeah.
Yeah, but like, now, what does that world look like? Like, what does employment look like? How does just basic things run? Because there's only like half the people, you've got no room for like menial bullshit jobs.
Yeah.
Like, what are shops like, for example? There's not going to be like 10, 16-year-olds kind of hanging around just trying to
exactly.
make money. It's all going to be weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Offices are going to be either really stressful or just they're actually going to find a way to cut out a lot of the bullshit in the modern workplace. Yeah. Getting political, guys. We're getting real with the Avengers films.
Yeah, man. An hour and 45 into it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, oh, man, indeed. I actually, I say fan questions, which is what I do on my other podcast because they're fans of that particular guest I have on that week. But this is just a random group of questions that I've got from different mates of mine. Because it says I told them it was random shit, and they said, "Oh, sweet, we're gonna ask anything." Most of them is comic stuff related. So, what's the top one? Okay, Big Man Jamie, he asks, give me your top 5 DC villains.
Top 5 DC villains. Alright, in any particular order, or...
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Villains. I think I went on around about this. My number 1 DC villain is Reverse Flash.
Ding,
So
ding,
we spoke about
ding.
this.
Yeah, yeah. If you want my answer, go and check out my YouTube channel.
Wow, that's some advertising right there, guys.
Honestly.
Reverse Flash, Black Flash is also one of my favourite DC. It's probably my second one, purely because there's no stopping him. He's this force of nature that cannot be stopped. He is that fucking deadly.
Yeah, he's the speedster Grim Reaper.
Yeah, the only way Wally stopped him was by going to the end of time where life didn't exist. So therefore, he just didn't exist.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's how you deal with this. This is it. He is just this unstoppable force of nature.
Oh, yeah.
Probably Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, yeah.
I love shady businessmen as villains. Especially someone like Luthor, who's just so egotistical and so in love with himself.
Yeah.
He is this perfect Superman villain. Because Superman just can't knock his head off.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say Metallo 4.
Metallo?
Because, again, to me, at least, he's the perfect Superman villain. His whole gimmick is, I'm a man, I'm made of kryptonite.
I think because my opinions majorly come from the Arrowverse. Yeah. So for me, like, Metallo's only in 2 episodes.
Yeah, he's very brief.
Yeah.
They don't show just how devastating his ability.
Exactly, and the same with Black Flash. He's only in, like, I think 2 episodes of Flash and 3 episodes of Legends. Like.
Yeah. He just kind of shows up.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing out like a load of villains. After this, I'm probably going to sit down and think, fuck, what about
fuck
Joker?
Yeah, yeah.
And as much as I love Joker, he is very overdone.
True.
And it's hard to do right. I will probably put Joker as my number 5 though. I fucking love Joker. I fucking love clowns. And there are some utterly fantastic Joker books.
Yes. Yes.
I've just got Jeff Lemire's new one that I need to start.
Nice.
The Joker has just done so much shit. Even outside of Batman, they've been doing so many Joker books lately. There's just one, it's 3 issues long, of him just fucking with this guy's head.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just so good. I think that's in particular order. There's just 5 really cool villains I like.
Yeah. I think for me it's like a 5 DC. Whenever I'm asked that, it's like my favourite 5 DC villains, but it's influenced the actors that have played them on the Arrowverse shows. So it's like Reverse Flash. I mean, still number 1, but it's also because Tom Cavanaugh and Matt Lyncher play him so well.
Yeah.
And then before watching Arrow, I would have never considered Malcolm Merlyn, and now Malcolm Merlyn is in my top 5.
Yeah.
And we got Prometheus. We got fucking Zoom, who I think is really good in the Flash show. But yeah, it's I think it's influenced by those actors and the show. Yeah, okay. In contrast, Top 5 DC heroes.
It's not really any particular orders. We'll just be like 5.
Yeah, just random names, mate.
Martian Manhunter for me. He was always at the one member of the Justice League I thought was like, you are just the most OP and essential guy. Like, this guy could take down Superman if he wanted to.
Oh yeah.
He's just that powerful.
I love his character, and I love him on Supergirl, but I do think he is very underused as Martian Manhunter.
He really is.
Yeah.
Flash. He's my boy. I love Flash is probably like my favourite member of the Justice League.
Yeah. Flash is great.
How hopeful he is, how fun he is. He's the guy. He stops to help out after stopping a robbery. He's like going to the victims like, "You alright? Do you want a glass of water? I can get you one in like half a second."
Yeah. I love the Flash. However, my dad, because we would always watch the shows together, and my dad would always come up with, the Flash is a wanker, and I'm like why? And he says he creates his own villains every year. He starts it all again because he fucked it up in the season finale, and I'm like, that's actually quite true in the show. Season apart from season 1 finale, because he didn't really I mean, I suppose he went back in time, but he didn't really do anything. But going back in time opened the singularity, which caused the villains of Earth 2 to come through for the whole season 2. Then at the end of season 2, he goes back in time and saves his mum, which causes season 3 and Flashpoint and all that. At the end of season 3, he goes into the Speed Force, and then he comes out of the Speed Force, causing the 12 bus metahumans. The only season which he doesn't cause the problems is season 5, because that's Nora, and then season 6. I gave up with.
I haven't watched season 6 at all. I think, wasn't like Godspeed in like one episode and they just forgot about it?
Godspeed was in 1 episode of season 5, and then he's in 2 episodes of season 6.
Oh, fuck that. Godspeed is like a great villain, but
yeah,
they're not really going to be doing like his comic book story.
No. The thing is, the Godspeed they've used isn't Godspeed. It's dummies pretending to be Godspeed, like robots, and it's like, what? Why bring him in for 3 episodes if it's not Godspeed? Like, come on.
That's so weird.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to think of other DC heroes, because I don't want to just do the whole generic, oh yeah, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. But Constantine, for sure. But he is one of the this is our proper hot take. The Keanu Reeves film is fucking excellent.
I like the film as the film, and he does the character great, but
he's just not British.
But it's not British. However, I do think the writing could have been better, and I personally think, just because I've seen more of him, that Matt Ryan is slightly better. But yeah, that's my opinion.
I do think Matt Ryan is better. The plot to the film is very strange. It kind of, lots of parts of it go nowhere.
Yeah.
I really do think someone just needed to have another pass to the script. my thing is, it's very 2000s. Like Constantine with a crossbow.
Yeah.
Shotgun. As much as cool as that was, it's not really Constantine, but the whole moodiness, the tone, the constant trying
the personality was Constantine, yeah.
Yeah, the whole. But then, like, it was a very 2000s supernatural superhero film, R-rated sort of thing.
Aye.
Next one, Booster Gold.
Booster Gold, yeah, for sure.
I fucking love Booster Gold.
Rip's dad, yeah, for sure. Or is it Rip's son?
It's his son.
Rip's son, yeah, that's it.
who needs to appear on Legends desperately.
Yeah,
And just
Booster Gold, appear on Legends, and it could give a chance for Arthur Darvill to return. I love that man. Please come back. I know he wants to do plays, but please come back.
Nah, we want Rip Hunter, guy. Come on, man. Come on.
The thing is, that's where he was getting his most money, is from a DC show, because it's mainstream. Whereas, theatre doesn't pay that much. I mean, I know that's what he loves, and I love theatre, but I choose my jobs based on money as well as entertainment.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if he's just made his money, and he's just like, yeah, I'm happy now.
I don't know. I don't think he has made his money though. He's still a working actor, and he's doing.
True.
It's like he's not been in the big movies that will make him RDJ.
No, but I do want him to return as Rip Hunter. I do want Booster Gold to come in. I don't want Booster Gold to just be like he doesn't. He just causes problems, man.
I want Dr. Fate to be involved.
I want Dr. Fate to come in. They've been hinting at Dr. Fate quite a few times. They hinted at him in Constantine.
And on Legends, his helmet's in the parlour of the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want Dr. Fate. I mean, who would be my final one? What's what I read? This isn't necessarily a hero.
Sure.
He's definitely a good guy. Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, yeah, James, yeah.
I fucking love Jimmy Olsen. I want to be... Like, if there's ever a Superman film, I want to be Jimmy Olsen. Like, I'll dye my hair fucking red. I don't give a fuck. I love Jimmy Olsen that much. He is
I think you could do quite a good Jimmy Olsen. I think you could do quite a good Jimmy Olsen, but with your own twist on it.
Oh, yeah.
I think
not CIA Jimmy Olsen from Batman v Superman.
I think Jimmy Olsen, like Superman Returns Jimmy Olsen character. That sort of Jimmy Olsen. I think, mate, you're too cool for that. Like, you're too cool for that, man.
Someone calls me cool like maybe once a year, so it means quite a lot.
Yeah, because everyone else calls you a wanker, innit?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I used to piss head again.
Oh, mate. But yeah, I think you're too cool for that. So
I love Jimmy Lowe because I think he's just this wholesome. He's this bumbling idiot, but he's this like constant source of hope.
Yeah.
And Superman, he is just like reassurance that people are just naturally good.
Yeah. I think what's his
Superman
name?
Loves him.
I think McCard in Supergirl. I think he did a good job at making him his own Jimmy Olsen, James. I think he did good as that version of the character who became Guardian. But I would like to see the bumbling Jimmy Olsen,
Yeah.
He was like, he was a hunk who was, superhero. Like,
he was bigger than their actual Superman.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
Tyler Hoechlin is smaller than Jimmy Olsen. Like, I was like, yo.
What?
I was like, yo, that's not it. Oh, mate, but when... You've seen Crisis, right?
Yeah.
So you know when Brandon versus Tyler?
Oh.
I was just like... In the scene where they're doing the fight in the sky, and Brandon's got him in the deadlock in the sky, it's just like, you can see how small Tyler is compared to Brandon. Brandon is a behemoth of a man.
And, like, Tyler's a really good Superman. He's a good actor. He does the part really well.
I think he does a good, like, bumbling Clark Kent, and I think he's a good, hopeful Superman. Yeah. However, I just think Brandon empowers the ethos a bit more.
Brandon is Superman.
Yeah.
Like, that whole bit where, like, Lois goes up to him and goes, what's with the black? And he's like, it's like, the hope is the light that brings us from the dark or something.
Yeah. Hope is the light that cuts through. Yeah.
And you're like, man, that's Superman. Like, in that continuity, didn't like Joker, because it's Kingdom Come, didn't like Joker kill Lois Lane or something like that?
Yeah.
Like,
Joker gassed the building and killed Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, and his son.
And instead of going all injustice, like everyone seems to want Superman to do these days, he just went, nah, man.
He went hopeful.
I'm going to kick the Joker in the bollocks, sure,
Yeah.
but you know, still like he's still the symbol of hope,
Yeah.
and yet manages to rise above the darkness. Fucking man, I want more Brandon Routh as Superman.
I want a Brandon Routh show as Superman.
Mate, bring me. I was just like Superman Returns had the potential to be so good, and it went nowhere.
Yeah, the writing, yet again. But he was a fucking great Superman in that.
Also, this is going to be a bit of a controversial thing. Bryan Singer isn't that great with superheroes.
No, he's not.
He doesn't
only
get superheroes.
Yeah, the only film I think he actually does quite well is Days of Future Past.
Yeah, and I only think that's because other writers and producers were kind of like pushing him in. Direct. Like they were like, no, make it comic booky.
Yeah.
Like with X-Men 1 and 2. I love X-Men 1 and 2. They're absolutely great. But you don't need to be embarrassed to call them, to call them their names or have them say their thing.
Yeah.
And also, like, I remember X-Men 1's great, but the problem is he doesn't understand X-Men and the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Why is Storm fighting Sabretooth and Wolverine going after Magneto?
Yeah.
Mate, we want to see fucking Wolverine and Sabretooth hacking out bits out of each other.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Like, yeah.
And I think Superman Returns it was proof of my sort of thing, where it's like, he just doesn't get superheroes. He's just been a bit lucky with kind of doing the X-Men.
Yeah. He's just been lucky with doing X-Men, is right. But yeah, you know what gets me about the Crisis Paragons, right? Is they make Brandon a paragon, but it's the paragon of truth, and Supergirl is the paragon of hope. And it's just like, why'd you give Brandon the hope monologue if he's not the paragon of hope? He seemed more hopeful than Supergirl.
Yeah, this was my thing with the whole Paragons thing. Just didn't make that much sense to me.
No.
Because you had Ryan Choi,
who's supposed to replace Atom once Atom leaves. He's still not been on the show. Brandon left half a year ago.
And he kind of just appears, and he doesn't do anything.
No.
Like, he helps out, but he's like, you're kind of there, like, it would have made sense if he was in an episode of something else before. So at least we understood. Because what was he, the paragon of, like...
He was the paragon of humanity.
That was it. And you're like, but why?
Yeah. Who the fuck is this guy? Like, what?
Yeah, like, it's literally, like, just some random guy.
Yeah.
Just showing up, being like, oh, you're right, I'm here to help out. It's that in Deadpool 2, where Peter shows up, and he's like, yeah, I saw the ad.
I do love that, though. I love Peter.
Yeah. I love it. And I think it's the best bit of the film.
I love how he's the only one who survived the landing as well. And then he goes and helps someone, and then he dies. It's just like, oh, fuck.
Didn't Deadpool go back in time and say...
Yeah. He was like, no, Boo Bear, go away. You know?
And yet all of X-Force... That is the greatest practical joke in marketing, though.
Yeah.
Just promising X-Force and, kill them all off in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And what, the invisible guy's Brad Pitt. Oh, that was beautiful.
How perfect.
For like 2 frames. 2 frames.
Not even a second, I swear. He's just there for 2 frames.
2 frames. And it's cut away.
How... Man... What, actually, speaking of Deadpool, do you think they'll do a Deadpool 3 now?
I think they are. I think they're writing the script. I think they're writing the script.
Are they actually?
I think, what's her name? I can never pronounce her name. Monica, whatever. She's said that they're still writing a script for Deadpool 3. And she hopes to be in it, in a bigger role.
Hopefully she's actually copycatting it. The only thing I have, because I know Ryan Reynolds was making a thing that he wanted to do like Deadpool versus Marvel universe, or Fox's Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Which would be fun. But I'm like, no, do you know what? Fuck it, I want that. I want to see just Deadpool, just fuck it. Just go, no, I'm going to kill everyone. Just randomly inserts himself into, like, moments in MCU films. And
Did you hear about that, though? They are planning that Deadpool's going to be the new Stan Lee, and he's going to be the cameo. Yeah, he's going to be...
confirmed?
They're working on it, because of course Ryan Reynolds has got to agree to appearing in every bloody film, because of course he's got his own acting career. He doesn't just want to be Deadpool, even though he loves it. You know.
I think the problem is as well is like they're going to be quite controlling in what he can and can't do in it. Because obviously in Deadpool film he can swear, he can kill.
But in a cameo for another film, like they've got control.
He's going to be quite... I know everyone wants him to make that joke about, you know, like, the beat comes over, so you can't hear him swear and he's reacting to that.
Yeah.
You can do that maybe once.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Everyone wants a joke, so I don't think they should actually do that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, they have said that they want that to happen. Because they think the perfect cameo would be Deadpool after Stan Lee, you know. And I agree, but I just think it has to be Deadpool as Deadpool, not Deadpool as a tame person.
Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed. Like, I reckon they'll be creative about it. I like low-key hope that maybe, I don't know, Captain Marvel 2 or something.
Yeah.
He's in the Captain Marvel outfit just as a bit of a joke, or holding the death of Captain Marvel and just being a bit of a prick about it.
Yeah, exactly.
He should be like the representation of negative comic book fans when he can.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man.
Like trying to give Brie Larson a false mustache and then walking away. I like Brie Larson as well. I like Captain Marvel and I like Brie Larson. I don't really understand the hate.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Other than the fact that she seems to be... the film's not great. It is a bit too Mary Sue-ish.
Yeah.
She's too perfect too early on.
Yep.
It's not awful. It's not worth boycotting like some people try to do.
Yeah. I originally watched it for the sole purpose of Jude Law, Samuel L. Jackson, and what's his name? Coulson. Because Coulson was coming back, and a young Samuel L. Jackson would have been amazing, and Jude Law's Jude Law, so it's of course. But then, after watching it, I was like, it was alright.
I was more excited about seeing Marvel, and I was a bit annoyed about how they kind of...
Yeah, he's Vers and not Marvel? Or...
No, so Captain Marvel was the, they turned into women for this one, was the person who, like, was killed by Jude Law's character when it crashed to shit.
Right. Yes.
The Cosmic Cube. She was the Kree super scientist thing.
Because everyone thought Jude Law was going to be Marvel, right? Yeah.
And no, I liked Marvel in it. I wanted more Marvel, and I wanted the death to actually have a bit more of an impact. Because if anyone doesn't know, the death of Captain Marvel was quite a big thing. Yeah. Because he basically died of cancer in the comics.
Right.
And it was like quite a big deal at the time.
Sure.
Because obviously he was a big Marvel character. Carol Danvers was about, I think, she was Miss Marvel at the time. Yeah. She basically wore a swimsuit instead of armour.
Yep.
Because I don't know if you've seen about all the Marvel writers and even DC writers who have been called out for their shady shit.
Hey, just comic books in general.
Yeah. And then you look at like outfits and you're like, we're surprised. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, comics are getting called out, man. A lot of creators are getting called out.
Yeah.
Which obviously for the better.
Sure, yeah.
But
damn.
You're kind of looking at Jeff Johns' accusations and you're like, damn.
Yeah, just like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, mate.
fuck.
looking at Green Lantern, like, do I want to read this now?
Oh man. Oh. Yo. To the people at home, I hope you're enjoying this topical conversation. It's now been 2 hours and 10 minutes, right? 2 hours and 10 minutes, and my my phone that I'm using to call is now on 10%. So I think we should wrap it up here for the first podcast of this short-lived mini-series podcast. I'm not sure what your thoughts were on the amount of numbers of stuff we're going to do. I think I had the image of we do 3, like 1 for each week you're off work.
Well, I've only got this week and next week now.
I'm a week late.
That's how 3 weeks work. So I have some time.
I'm a week late. We'll have to do 2 in 1 week.
I am well happy doing these in the evenings after work. Obviously, if they're convenient for you.
Yeah, no, I'm about. I was just curious, after work.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you just want your evening, so
I'll survive. I'll just go on like a
I'm a survivor.
I'm just going to throw out around like, why the fuck is this person requesting this? They do not need this. Like, I want the scheme guide from 1986. Why?
Oh man.
Why do you need that? What possible? Do you know what? I'm off. Ain't my fucking problem.
No more problem. No more problem.
But yeah, I reckon if we just do 3 episodes, and then once we've done 3, we can kind of see
how it does. Yeah.
Yeah, how we want to proceed, whether there's any structure changes.
Yeah.
Or
100%. 100%.
Maybe, being shit. I keep knocking my fucking mic over. It's on like this cushion thing. I've got a board on there to keep it steady, but I keep moving my hands, so I just keep accidentally whacking it.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Professional.
Yeah.
Against Dolan, we'll show you how to be professional.
Oh yeah.
I chuck the cake break halfway through.
Oh yeah.
And tangents.
Amazing. Well, that's been Topical Madness with Vince and Seb.
If you made it to the end.
If you made it, if you even watch it or listen to it, we're just happy,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it from us, and we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you in the next one.